Hello, good evening everyone. I'm going live a little bit early. We're already getting interaction on YouTube, so I just thought we'd have what is known in the trade as a soft start. Rather than me coming in with like my usual big crash bang wallop. We've got about 90 seconds to go before 8 PM when qualifying will start. So we'll just sit on board with Dan, who we know is one of our quick drivers, and Martin Belby is commenting that it's a shock that Dan is P1. Well, it is actually Martin, because allegedly he's going to be starting on the medium tyres, so he's just getting his eye in at the moment. We can have a quick look on board and see. Yeah, he's using the mediums at the moment, so I don't think anyone is overly put in a representative lap yet. So I think, as I decide to set my phone to camera, I think we are not really looking at anything too representative. So I'm going to wait until they press the button for the start of qualifying, and then I'm going to run you through everything that we've got happening tonight. Snod is saying 2 minutes. He must be in a slightly different time zone to me. So, oh, where are you? The qualifier is starting in 3, 2, 1, and I'm going to hop on board, I think. Well, hello, good evening everyone, and welcome to the final round of the Flat Out E-Racing, sponsored by CMB Artworks Group 4 Championship. And we are in for a stonker tonight. We have got a dead heat between two drivers at the moment going into these two races tonight. One of them is the driver on screen at the moment, Stormfly, who's done himself a slightly different livery. Normally, for you regular watchers, he's in a yellow coloured car. Tonight, he's all gone red, white and blue. And the other driver, who is still sat in the pits, no he's not, he has left the pits, let's have a look, is Chili Bass. And he's there in the red Aston Martin. And these two drivers are absolutely dead level on points. It's just like F1. But unlike F1, we are not going to be deciding this with manipulation by the stewards halfway through the final round. This is going to be a race from lights to flag. And talking to racers, tonight we've got two races for you. They're both 20 minutes long. First race, the grid is decided by the lap times the drivers are putting in during this 10-minute qualifier. And then we've got a second race, which will be a reverse grid based on the result of the first race. So that could really mix things up, and we've experienced before when we've had championships that have gone down to the wire, it can potentially get a little bit physical. Think touring cars 1990s. Let's hope it doesn't get to that. We've got some very fast and very good drivers out there tonight, so I imagine we are going to see some absolutely stunning racing. The interesting thing that we might get tonight is, if you note on the list of driver names, three of them there, 8, 9 and 10th, have HKRT. And Chili Bass, who is one of our title protagonists, is a member of that group. So he has got other drivers, a bit like Lewis Hamilton and Verstappen had Bottas and Perez to help them out. And I think in helping out your teammate, I think Perez definitely won that competition. And so that is another potential element that could come into play, because Stormfly from Holland, he's very much on his own. So the three Greek drivers could work as a team. So it'll be interesting to see how that one shakes out. Not forgetting the other drivers we've got out there tonight. We've got Dan, who's currently in the pits. He's one of our extremely quick drivers. He has been a outside chance for the championship, but he's decided he has got a heck of a lot of speed. He's going to run on the medium tyres tonight, whereas most of these guys out there you'll see running on the super softs. So let's have a look. First guys to put a marker in is Stormfly with a 129.5. Yellow Stormfly's messed it up coming out of the Paddock Hill bend there and ended up in the wall. Who else we've got? Yellow Sausages, he's slotted there into third. I'm not sure why it's showing us as Dan still in pole position, because he has not put a time in, so I don't really understand that. This could be a bit of a glitch in the proverbial system. Maybe Dan needs to hop out and put in a slow time. So Chili Bass has put a time in there, and look at that, we've got Stormfly an effective pole with Chili Bass in second, so that is going to be tight. And Panos in the other HKRT car, that he comes in showing us fourth, but effectively I think that's going to become third. I think Dan has just left the pits, and that has sorted out our slight glitch with the board, so thank you for that, Dan. So Stormfly on pole, Chili Bass second. This is just like F1 repeating itself, and one of them even is Dutch. How incredible is that? So who else have we got? We've got Panos in third, Cajun 100, he's in fourth. I'm sure he'll be chuffed with that one. And there, who we've got going further down. Sorry, I skipped over Yellow Sausage. I do apologise. Yellow Sausage is in the red Ferrari. He is currently there in fifth. He's a good midfield performer. And then in sixth we've got Snod, who is running the room tonight. So he is there currently in sixth. Seventh is Devlin Calypso. He's just popped into the pits. His cars are always easy to spot because they've got that bright green colouring to them. And similarly in green is the VW Golf of Omford, who is in eighth, which is a little bit out of position. He's had a couple of good races, particularly at Bathurst, where he had a stunning win in the second race. So he's not one to be overlooked. And then in, where are we, ninth, we've got Simrus in the BMW. Now he's coming around to complete a lap, so I'd imagine that is going to... No, he's only his out lap, so it looks like he's not really put in a representative time yet. We've got 4.5 minutes left. Let's sit on board. I'll stick with Timorous just to see how he tackles this lap. Coming up the hill to the tight right-hand Druid hairpin. Then it drops away. Take as much curb as you can. Downhill, Graham Hill bend. Now this is one easy one to run wide on the exit, but he just neatly runs it along the AstroTurfy excess just beyond the red and white curb, and then up to Surtees. And this is so important. This is a bit of a double apexer really, this corner, and it's quite difficult to get the perfect line, but it looks like Timorous has done a fairly good job there. It looks like he's catching Devlin Calypso and actually getting the advantage of a bit of slipstream off him. So round Hawthorns, one of the fastest corners on the track, and is Devlin Calypso going to move over? No, I thought he was slowing up there, but he isn't. But Timorous is coming up on him. Timorous has got another chance after this lap. Snod set a quicker lap time. He's just on the 1 minute 30. So round Sheen, then we're coming up to Stirling's. Get another important corner to get a good exit speed as we head down towards Clearways. Over the crest. And then the long effective curve which goes from Clearways all the way to Paddock Hill Bend, which is technically the start-finish straight. So Timorous using a bit of slipstream there off Devlin Calypso, and what time does that give him? 1:30.3. Yeah, I think that really cost him being tucked up behind Devlin there. In fact, it looks like he's either going back to the pits. Oh, look at that. I didn't see that one. Didn't I mention that Omford had a cracking performance back in Bathurst, and he's done it again. He's really missed the qualifying. He has got in amongst the pigeons there with Stormfly and Chili Bass. So let's see what those two title protagonists are up to. Where is Stormfly? Stormfly's around the back of the circuit at the moment. And Chili Bass is just coming up towards Surtees. So they've still got a chance to put another couple of laps in. So let's hop back to Stormfly, see how he's getting on. See what he's doing time-wise. He's just gone through the second split. Up to Clearways, and then taking the shortest line possible to the finishing line. And No, he hasn't gone quicker. Onford is below 129. That's one of the fastest times I've ever seen around here. Let's see how Chili Bass is doing. He's just coming up to the split now. No, he's over. This must be an outlap. So let's just see. I can see we've got some comments coming through on YouTube. Oh, Dan saying hello, and Neil Hall is saying hello as well. That's Noddy's mate who's watching us out there in YouTube land tonight. So please get involved on YouTube. Tell us what you think. Who's going to win the championship? Is it going to be Stormfly? Is it going to be Chili Bass? And of course, all those important like and subscribe buttons as well, please. We're just shy of 100 subscribers, so it would be a great end to the season for us that we could just skip over that 100. We just need 3 more, so tell your friends, get them on YouTube and get them pressing the like button. So we're on with Chili Bass, first sector. He is 0.115 up, so at the moment that is going to pop him into second place. He'll need to find some real speed. He's still up at the second split there. Coming up to the third one. Let's come down towards Hawthorns, and oh no, he's lost time down the straight there. So he's 0.1 out. Keeping up, that Stormfly should be going through. We've got just 30 seconds of this qualifying remaining. Here we go, up through Dingledale into Sheen. Now this is where the final split is. Let's see where he is. Has he made anything up round the back? No, he hasn't. In fact, he's lost a bit. So let's see what Stormfly's up to. And he's down as well. So we'll just go back to Chili Bass. Devlin Calypso puts in a faster time, 1:31. Chili Bass heading for the line. Oh, Chili Bass has gone second. Of course, that was the time relative to Onford, not to his own split. So Onford still half a second quicker. Amazing time there. So let's see, is Onford still out there? Yes, he is. Is he trying to go any quicker? We've just got a split coming up. No, he's 0.7 out, so there's nothing happening there. So the only one, Stormfly, kicking the dust up there. Here he goes, taking a chunk of curve through Sheen. And the final split, no, he's half a second out, so nothing happening there. Timorous has pulled himself up to 5th position, I notice. So let's see how Panos is getting on. Can he do anything in 4th? Can he get in amongst this fight? Can he help his teammate out and shuffle Stormfly a little bit further down the pack? We're just about to find out how he's doing on this lap. No, he's 0.2 down. So yes, that's 0.2 down on the pole time. So I think this could be a stunner by Panos to get himself up in amongst Chili Bass and Stormfly. And of course, when it comes to Chili Bass passing him, I'm sure he's going to have the narrowest car on the track, and when Stormfly comes up, he might have a slightly wider one. So here goes Panos. Oh no, he didn't. I do apologize, that was against actually his own time. I'm making a mess of it here tonight. I'm not normally doing these ones off the timing splits. So who else have we got out still on track? Let's have a look. Timorous, he's on the shutdown lap. Cajun's on the shutdown. Snod's on the shutdown. So Devlin Calypso. And finally Dan is just having a quiet bumble round to make sure that he slots in the right place on the grid, which is 10th. So this is looking quite exciting. We've got Onford, who is come into play with those 2 title contending drivers, and I think that could put a different complexion on things, because it's not going to be like the F1. It's not going to be Stormfly and Chili Bass heading out in front and getting away from the field and creating a gap. So I'm not quite sure how this one is going to play out. Do we think Onford's going to get out and get a run and clear off, or is Chili Bass and Stormfly going to get by at the start? Are the other HKRT drivers going to come into play? Who knows? So just to remind you, our first race, 20-minute race, based on this qualifying that we've just been watching, and then we've got a second race, which is a reverse grid, based on the result of the first race. So think could happen, and that could really mix up race 2 as well, so that could be quite exciting. So here we go, we've got a grid start, 20-minute race. The drivers are starting on half tanks, so they are going to have to pit probably somewhere around about 7 minutes, and then it will probably be a single stopper. But obviously the longer they can ease the fuel out on the first section of the race, the shorter stop they will have. So here goes, let's go racing. Here we go. Oh, on Ford, not a good start there at all, and Panos jumped through into the middle there, and Panos snatches the lead from 4th on the grid. Stormfly in 2nd, Chili Bass a bit wide there into Paddock Hill Bend, but he is hanging on there to 3rd. On Ford looking to come back quickly, he's looking down the inside at Druid's Hairpin, and he's got 2 for the price of 1 there. On Ford comes back up into 2nd place. That Golf was stunning on the brakes. Stormfly up flashing the lights there, not happy with that situation at all. He wants to be in front. So it looks like everyone's got away cleanly. So here we go, into Surtees for the first time. Panos in the lead, On Ford in 2nd, Stormfly in 3rd, Chili Bass in 4th. And just to remind you, Stormfly and Chili Bass are your 2 championship drivers. So, and looking at that, I think Chili Bass is looking quite racy on Stormfly, and he's looking to the inside but can't make it stick. He decides better off it. Simorus is hanging just behind this battle for 3rd and 4th, which is the championship battle. So Simorus is there in 5th, Snod in 6th, Yellow Sausages 7th, and Dan already up to 8th on those medium tyres. So Stormfly battling there with On Ford, and it looks like he's got the move done, so that is quite an important move for the championship there. I dare look away. Chili Bass now, he is fighting hard to get by On Ford in 3rd, because he can see Stormfly getting away, and Stormfly's building himself a little bit of championship margin there. Now Timorous is coming up as Chili Bass's wingman. I don't see Timorous getting involved too much in this, but On Ford's coming back on Stormfly again. Druid's Hairpin is On Ford's corner there. He was down the inside and gets himself back into 2nd place. So Stormfly will be really frustrated with that. He wants to get away, so he can see Chili Bass in his mirrors, but it's been great racing so far, and let's hope it stays that way. Timorous going a little bit wide there into Surtees. So here we go, Stormfly in the Nissan. He's looking quite racy behind On Ford. On Ford going defensive. He's going over up towards Hawthorns. Cannot Stormfly do anything here? He's right on the back bumper of On Ford, but he doesn't want to make a mistake that's going to cost him time. So here we go, coming up to Sterling's. Can Stormfly do anything here? No, he can't. He's just so tight. I'll tell you what, we're going to hop on board, because I think we're going to get some really good shots. Here we go, look at this. Into clearways. An awful lot of tyre squirrel, and it looked like On Ford was having a bit of understeer there as well. So here we go, into Paddock Hill Bend again. So coming up to On Ford Specialist corner. But, oh, he's into the gravel there. That would have lost him a little bit of speed there. But Stormfly can't do anything. Panos is not making a breakaway either. Quite often we see Panos making a breakaway, but this time he doesn't seem to be able to gap the field. The other factor that's going to come into play here is fuel stops, because they are going to have to stop for fuel, I believe, or unless I've got that wrong and I'm talking about the Saturday night series or Sunday night series. So let's just have a quick look on board. No, they're not going to have to stop for fuel. I was talking complete rubbish as usual from the commentary box. I do apologise. I was just talking about our DTM series on a Sunday night, which does have a much higher fuel usage on, and they would have had to stop. So on this occasion, these drivers, this is lights to flag on both races, so we're not going to get that problem. So here we go, we're still so tight at the top, and look how closely all the drivers are packed as you look at the track layout on the top right hand corner. So it looks like Onford is now gapping Stormfly, but the one that is coming is Chili Bass in 4th on Stormfly in 3rd. So let's just hop on board with Chili Bass. Timorous seems to be acting as wingman behind, and he's going to have to do his wingman bit in a minute because Dan is on his way. Dan is through in 6th position already from the back of the grid. So can Chili Bass do anything? And the other one that looks like he might be doing something in a couple of laps is Onford, who does seem to be catching Panos as well. So we'll just have a quick look at that gap further up as we move back to our trackside cameras. Oh, Stormfly looking a bit wide there in the background. So it's just under a second for the lead at the moment, and just under a second between 2nd and 3rd place. So as we start lap 4, we've got just under 15 minutes remaining. I'm not really sure how this one is going to play out. I think tyre wear is going to be a factor here, because I think as the race goes on, it'll be who's been more conservative on their tyres, and from our experience it tends to be the HKRT drivers seem to be able to eke out their tyres more than other nations. Oh no, Stormfly's off! Stormfly's off! But he's kept it together. Absolutely incredible. I know he's off again. He's off again. Side by side with Chili Bass. I think Chili Bass has got that done. He has. But Stormfly's not giving that one up. But he's been gapped. Let's go back and have a quick look at that one, shall we? So as we come up to Sheen's, oh, Stormfly took a little bit too much curb on the inside and he rally crossed it across the grass, but incredibly he prevented it from spinning, but that put him offline for Sterling's, and then he went wide on the exit and Chili Bass just went, thank you very much, I'll have that, and he was through. So cracking bit of racing there. So hopefully it's going to do its correct thing and go back for us. Yes, it is. So there we are. Now, interestingly, once Chili Bass has got by Stormfly, Timorous now seems to have turned the wick up in his BMW, and he's catching Stormfly in 4th. So it's obviously to Chili Bass's advantage if Timorous can get by Stormfly. So this is going to boil over in a minute. This is going to be like touring cars 1995. Here we go. So we have got 13 minutes remaining. I'm just going to take a quick hop forward and see how things are working with the drivers up front. Well, Panos seems to have eased the gap out from Onford a little bit. So I don't think there's much happening there, but this is where it is. It's Chili Bass and Stormfly. They've been battling all season, and it's continuing in these final 2 races. So at the moment, the balance of power is in Chili Bass's hands. But of course, we've got a second race to come, so it depends how the drivers finish in that one. So here we go. Just started lap 6, and we've got just under 12.5 minutes remaining. I really don't know which way this. My brain was whirring there. I'm just not quite sure which way this one is going to go. I think we'll just have a little look on board at tyre wear, because I think that might be a factor. So there's relatively little there from Chili Bass there. And let's go back to Stormfly. Yeah, possibly a little bit more there from Stormfly, and then we'll go back to Timorous. Yeah, so as I mentioned before, it does look like the HKRT drivers are using their tyres slightly less. So that could come into play as we get towards the end of the race. But look who's coming as well in the background. Dan TGT started at the back of the grid. He's on those medium tyres, but he's coming into play with his championship battle as well. So I think this is all going to get a bit lively. Dan's got nothing to lose. He does sit 3rd in the championship, but unless Stormfly and Chili Bass basically pull off the track and go home now, he has got no chance of winning the championship. But he could become a player in deciding who does. So Stormfly really won't want anybody else passing him. And it looks like Dan is catching at a fair rate of knots there in the Renault. So if if Dan gets by Stormfly, I'm sure Stormfly's going to hope that Chili Bass gets overtaken as well. So here we go. Is this Dan going up the inside at Druid's hairpin? It is. So fairly easily got that move done. So next one on his scanner is Stormfly. And oh, hello, looks like Stormfly might have made a slight error there coming out of Graham Hill, and Dan is down the inside as we go into Sterling's, and Dan has got the move done. Now as he's kicked the door open for Timorous as well, because Dan has overtaken both of those drivers in just half a lap. And he's got the medium tyres, which haven't got quite as much grip, but will last that much longer. So he's not going to have the tyre wear problems that some of the other drivers are going to suffer as the race goes on. I'm sorry about not covering the drivers further down at the moment, but you can see we've got so much going on in the top 5 positions at the moment. I daren't look away in case something happens. So that's Dan through to 4th. Panos still leads in front of Onford in 2nd place, and then Chili Bass is in 3rd, and Dan is the driver definitely on the move, but also on the move. Let's look at that. Oh, Timorous looks like he took a chunk out the back of the Nissan. Was that a push to pass? I'm sure we will find out after the race, but that did look slightly over aggressive to me. But I was obviously getting a slightly second-hand view, but we will go back and have a look. Let's go back and we will look at... Oh, we've just missed it, unfortunately. I should have been a bit quicker on the replay button there. So just coming into clearways, I could see Stormfly looking a little bit sideways, so I'm sure he's going to be keen to want to get that position back sooner rather than later. So here we... Oh dear, and good old replay system has failed us again, but we're back on it. So let's go back up the front. So let's just have a quick run through. Panos is still in the lead. We've got just 8.5 minutes remaining. Onford is in 2nd. He's dropped now about 2.5 seconds back. Chili Bass is still in 3rd, and he's now coming under the rapid attentions of Dan in 4th. Timorous is there in 5th, Stormfly in 6th. So let's just stick with these guys for a second, because I think Dan is going to be the next one putting a move on Timorous. And we saw him put a couple of moves on. One, I think, into clearways, the other one was definitely into Druid. So let's see if he can do the same thing again. Paddock Hill's quite a difficult one to do an overtaking manoeuvre on. It's better for him to get a good exit from here, which he's done, taking a great chunk of curb there. He's going for the inside as they go up the hill. Has he got the move done? Timorous is Chili Bass is giving him space. Now, unfortunately, Dan is on the wrong side for the next corner, which is Graham Hill, which is a left-hander, so he thinks better of it. So head out towards Sterling's. Dan's going to go for it. He dives to the inside. There's a little bit of a door mirror exchange, but didn't look too rough and tumble. And Chili Bass slots in behind Dan. Now, is he going to try and get it back? Dan's going for defensive in the middle of the track, which is what I think we would all do. So the problem now for Stormfly is he really needs to get back in front of Timorous, so he can make the gap to Chili Bass in the championship as small as possible. So we'll just, as things seem to have settled down, as we're just dropping down to 6 3/4 minutes to go, I'm going to move our way back to the other drivers. In 7th, behind this meteoric battle for the lead, is Yellow Sausages. He's got about a 5-second gap in front and behind, so he's fairly safe. And similar with Snod, but he's got 22 seconds over Cajun, so I'm not quite sure what happens there, because Cajun's normally a little bit more up on the pace there in the Audi TT. So he's there circulating in 9th at the moment. And then Devlin Calypso in the beautifully green Hyundai is there in 10th at the moment. But it does look all drivers are going to finish on the lead lap. So let's hop back up the front. Now, interestingly, and I don't know if this is a tyre wear issue, and I mentioned that the HKRT drivers are very good with their tyres. is that Onford has dropped now 5 seconds back, and it is a tyre wear issue. Look at those red blocks at the bottom of the screen for Onford. I said he was suffering from understeer, and Dan's gone from the back of the grid, and he's giving Onford for a second position a really hard time, and I think he's going to be with him and past him sooner rather than later. Oh, and he's going to have to back off. He's got a penalty for track limits, I would imagine. So Dan is through to second place. That's dropped Onford to third, and it looks like the one that is going to benefit from this is going to be Chili Bass, because Onford needs to drop that penalty before the end of the lap, otherwise he'll get a subsequent penalty on that one. And it doesn't look like he's dropped. Yes, he is dropping it. Well done. And so that is Chili Bass through to third. Now, the ones that need to get by with just under 5 minutes to go is Timorous needs to get by, and really needs to get by is Stormfly. So, but I think that's going to be quite easy considering how the tyres on that Golf of Onford have gone. He's looking like he's trying to get a bit racy, Onford, in the green Golf, but I think his tyres are gone. And it was interesting that we saw him using a lot of that tyre performance at the start of the race, but unfortunately that's come back to bite him, because as the race has gone on, his tyres have gone off a cliff and he's dropped back position after position. So he did have the lead at one point, but he's now down in fifth, and I think he's going to end up sixth fairly quickly, because I think Stormfly is going to be by soon. But Stormfly really needs to get by, because he can see Timorous getting by and going away in the distance. So I don't think Onford was overly happy with that manoeuvre, but they are still both pointing the same direction. So let's see how... Oh, sorry, I was going for Stormfly's tyres. Yeah, Stormfly's tyres are looking quite worn. Let's see how Timorous is. Yeah, again, it's a tyre wear issue. So we have, I think, just over 2 laps to go. But Panos is running away at the front. I don't think Dan is going to do anything about him. I can have a quick look. Yeah, Dan is 6 seconds behind. I don't see that changing for probably the top 3, because Dan is on those racing mediums and he's not taken very much life out of them at all. But with I would say maybe 3 laps to go, I think that it's unlikely that the top 3 positions are going to change. But the one who really does need to move forward is Stormfly on Timorous. But I think unfortunately Stormfly's tyres are that little bit more worn. So here we go. As they head down the hill towards Hawthorns, can Stormfly do anything about Timorous? It's got just over a second gap at the moment. He needs to wind that in though. We've got, I think, for these front drivers, I think there may be 2 more laps. For the ones further back, I think it's only going to be 1. It's slightly unusual with GT Sport that when the time runs out, once the driver finishes crosses the line, that's their race over. It's not a case of waiting for the lead driver to cross the line, which is what you would normally expect, and then everybody completes the same number of laps. When the time runs out and you've crossed the line, your race is over. So yeah, these guys are definitely going to get 2 more laps in, because we've got 1 minute 50 remaining and it's a 1 minute 30 second lap round here. We'll just keep an eye on the front battle. Yeah, Dan's not making any inroads into Panos, and Chili Bass is not making any inroads into Dan, so that's all going to stay fairly stable. Interestingly, on the mediums, Dan has put the fastest time in. He's done the 1:29.0. So from the back of the grid on harder tyres, that is quite an incredible drive there by Dan. So Chili Bass there, banking some good points there in the Aston for the championship, and being backed up very nicely by his teammate Timorous. So it looks like Timorous is pulling away on Stormfly. The gap is up to nearly 2 seconds. So I don't see Stormfly being able to do anything about Timorous, and trying to close that gap to Chili Bass. So Onford there in 6th, but actually now he's coming under pressure, having burnt his tyres up. He's coming under pressure from Yellow Sausages. I am going to keep an eye on that Stormfly Timorous battle, but at the moment I don't see that changing. We're going to have one more lap at the end of this one. Leader's on his final lap already. Panos is through. I can see Paddock Hill Bend. So here we go. The Ferrari's got, as they come out of clearways, the Ferrari's got the pit side down the main straight, and that gives him the inside line as they go into Paddock Hill. It's a bit touchy-feely as they go in, but those tyres on the Golf have given up. But we know Onford is very good into Druid, so he's looking, oh, and he's slivered through it. There was just about a golf-sized gap there, so he's got that position back. Great driving there by Onford. Great driving by both drivers. So here we go, and then the Ferrari Yellow Sausages got it on the cutback coming out of Graham Hill as they come up to Surtees. But on the brakes, he's stunning on the brakes, is Onford. He's going down the inside but can't quite make it stick. The tyres have cried enough, and Yellow Sausages has got it done. So Snod and Cajun have crossed the finishing line, and so I think it's coming up is Devlin Calypso. So that's Yellow Sausages through to 6th, so I'm sure he'll be chuffed with that one. So we'll just hop on board. Yeah, Devlin Calypso has just crossed the finishing line. So Panos, well, that gap has dropped down to 3.5 seconds to Dan, but I think Panos is just stroking it home. So here we go, up to the finishing line. Here we go. Panos, great driving there. Great start, got himself through to 4th. From 4th to the front of the grid. Dan coming through there in 2nd. Chili Bass now takes the lead of the championship on his own. He comes through in 3rd. Timorous backs up Chili Bass in 4th. Stormfly comes through in 5th. Yellow Sausages snatch 6th position from Onford there on the last lap. So, wow, what can I say? That was one heck of a race, and it wasn't over till we got to the end, was it? That was a bit Murray Walker, wasn't it? That was a great start there by Panos as he got between the top qualifying cars and took the lead. He briefly got overtaken by Onford, who then fell back behind him, and then as the race went on, he just eased his way out from Onford, and Onford's tyres went off from about 2/3 distance, and of course at that point he was easy prey to the drivers behind him, so he'd gone from leading the race all the way down to 6th. So great racing there. Just going to put a quick mention to our sponsor, who is CMB Artworks. Look for him on Facebook. He's an artist. It's not some computer generated graphics, this is proper old school drawing, and for the winners the CMB are providing a drawing of the winner's car, so that is going to be absolutely fantastic for them. So please do give them a look. Get on to Facebook, search for them, that's CMB Artworks, and you can see all the great stuff that they do. So we're coming up, this is it, after all these 8 rounds, 16 or 15 races, this is the last race. So it's still down to between Stormfly and Chili Bass, so it's still all to play for. I think Dan has definitely solidified his 3rd place in the championship, so it's really all about number 1 and number 2. And like I say, we haven't got a Michael Massey to come online and change the orders so they get FIA get the result they want. So it's very much all going to be decided out there on track. So as we saw some great racing there in the first race there tonight, and so we are going to have a great second race. So let's just have a look. So just to remind ourselves, we're just going to go on to the result at the top, so I can tell you who's got what. So bear in mind, basically went into this dead even. Chili Bass for 3rd got 20 points, and Stormfly for 5th got 16 points. So there's a 4-point gap. Now, we've got a reverse grid coming up for the second race, so that's going to mix the order up. We're going to be starting in 2 minutes, I've just been told. So we are going to have a reverse grid, so the guys like Panos, like Timorous, are all going to be towards the back. So they're going to have to work their way through. They obviously don't want to get their race messed up by either damage or going off track or spinning. So they are going to have to be a little bit cautious, I think, to make sure that they get through without problems, because if they pick up damage or anything like that, that's going to compromise the rest of their race. So they are going to be a little bit cautious. And obviously the guys like Devlin Calypso and Cajun 100, who were starting at the front of the grid, you know, this could be one of their great chances. So I'm sure they're going to be interested in trying to hang on to that at the front. So we're getting some comments. Let's have a quick look. Neil Hall says the second race should be interesting, and Simon Smith, who is the host tonight, we thank him very much for that. He said he could do a Massey manual grid. Oh, please don't, Simon. Please don't, Simon. We've got enough going on as it is, so let's not, you know. Anyway, I think you find if you did do a Massey, you'd be out of a job as well soon. That's my prediction. I think you heard it here first, guys. I think the only way that Lewis Hamilton's holding out for Michael Massey to get eliminated, shall we say. So that's my prediction for the start of the season. Lewis will race, but Michael Massey will be out of a job. I could be horribly wrong, of course, and I usually am when it comes to commentating. So I think I've just noticed that the drivers there are on the mediums, and I'm just doing a quick check, so I've just noticed Stormfly, I think, needs to go to the super soft tyres. Oh dear. Yeah, unfortunately Snod has started the final already, so Stormfly, if you can hear this, you need to get yourself on super softs, otherwise you're going to have a problem, unless you're going for the mediums for a reason. So I may be interested to see whether that is a strategic move by Stormfly. Maybe he considered he was out of tyres and he saw how Dan came through the grid with unworn tyres. So we're about to find out. Oh, Snod, oh, we've lost the driver, I've noticed there. So, oh, we lost Devlin Calypso. So Cajun's on pole, Snod second, here we go, we're off. Snod gets a fantastic start, and so does Stormfly. Stormfly, look at that, he came humdinger through the grid, and Timorous, who is Chili Bass's wingman, has gone with him. So Timorous is going to be looking, oh, and look, on forward, the Druid's dive bomber, he's going through, on trying to go from the inside of Timorous there, but Timorous is having none of it. But the winner of all that first corner antics was Stormfly. Stormfly's right through to second already, and he's got his eyes all over the Ferrari of Snod. So I'm not sure what happened to Cajun there. He didn't get a very good start off the lights. And I think, did I see someone spinning out? No, I didn't. So let's hop up with Stormfly. Stormfly's through to the lead already. He's past Snod and through Hawthorns, and he's away. So Stormfly's in the championship winning position, I believe, as it stands. So where's his competitor? He's down in 8th. He's down in 8th. Look at this. He's all the way back there. Chili Bass, he's stuck one position from the back. So he's gone nowhere so far. In fact, he's been overtaken by Dan, who was second in the first race. So these mediums of Stormfly may be a winning combination for him, but he's got Timorous coming at him from behind. So this one is going to go down to the wire. I can sense it. Here we go, lap 2. Stormfly through Paddock Hill. It looks like Timorous is coming for him, and Timorous, I'm sure, has had Chili Bass on the phone, who is now up to 8th, saying please get by Stormfly, get some points off him. So, and I'm sure Stormfly will be trying to keep his car as wide as possible to make sure that Timorous doesn't come by. And let's hope we don't have the contact like we had in the first race, where Timorous did seem to be giving a little bit of a helpful push to Stormfly, which I believe is what they call in touring cars a push to pass, which is a very much a no-no. So Cajun is actually back up to 4th. So on Ford, I'm not quite sure what happened there. He was definitely seemed to be moving forward, and he dive bombed through, but he's gone back now, and it looks like Cajun's looking quite racy behind Snod there. But we've got this battle for the lead, and this is where the championship's hanging, so I'm going to just keep with this for the moment. Here we go, you see virtually the whole field in one shot. This is how tight this championship at Flat Out has got. So here we go. Stormfly, Timorous, Snod, Cajun, Onford. And as quick as that, they are flashing past me. So Dan is up there in 6th. He looks like he's catching Onford now. It looks like Stormfly is holding off Timorous at the moment, but I'm sure with the slightest mistake, Timorous is going to be through. I'm going to risk hopping back to the battle slightly further back. So Snod is 3rd, Cajun 4th, Onford still 5th, and Dan in 6th. The Chili Bass is now up to 7th. Fantastic shots we're getting here from the GT Sport system. So, oh, look at this. Onford is, was he doing a dive bomb at a different corner there? He looked like he was going up the inside of Surtees. Look at this, look how close it all is. They are bumper to bumper. Cajun 100 getting a good draft off the back of Snod there. Can he do anything into Hawthorns? Not by the look of it. So here we go. Up in the Westfield. Snod in 3rd, Cajun 4th in the silver Audi. This is so tight. I'm hold. Oh no! Snod's got it all squirrely going into Sterling's there. I thought it had stabilised a bit, and I'm sure that compromises exit speed. And look at those 4 drivers there. Oh no! Snod's out on the grass. He's on his way to the parking lot. So here we go. Onford now looking down the inside of Cajun into Paddock Hill, and Dan's taking the opportunity of the hole that Onford made. Dan went through as well. So Onford is 3rd, Dan 4th, Cajun in 5th. As they come up to the hairpin, Dan looking quite racy down the inside of Onford. Has he got the move done? They're side by side. I don't think he can get the move done there. Stormfly in 1st, still holding off Timorous. Chili Bass now up to 6th position, but that's not enough for the championship at the moment. So there was a 4-point gap after the first round. So if it all ends dead equal, they'll have to do it on count back, and I haven't got that information, so that'll have to be worked out afterwards. So let's hope it doesn't come to that. So definitely looks like Chili Bass is catching Cajun. And Dan is working Onford really hard. As we know, Onford tends to use his tyres a bit more than the drivers around him. So at the moment he's got the pace. Will it drop off? Let's have a look. He may have actually made a different decision on tyres. Let's have a quick look. No, he's still on the super softs. So Timorous looking racy behind Stormfly. Look at that. That's the top 7 all in one shot there. They are just so close. Fantastic driving and fantastic racing. Look, it's Onford now catching Timorous in 2nd. Stormfly still in the lead there. Timorous is going for it. He's looking down the inside of Paddock Hill Bend, but no, there's no gap for him. Dan goes through there. Oh no! Timorous and Onford coming together there as they came through the exit of Paddock Hill, but Onford has got through, but I don't know if there was a little bit of argy-bargy going on there. Dan is now on the scene. They're 3 abreast. That's never going to work. It hasn't. Timorous is the loser there. He's out on the grass. And Chili Bass is one of the winners because he slipped through to 3rd. He got ahead of Dan there. And Chili Bass is now on the back of Onford. Now, this is a bit perilous for Stormfly because we know that Onford will use his tyres up. So Chili Bass there at the moment is through there in to third position, and as it stands at the moment, that still isn't quite enough for the championship. At the moment, in third, with Stormfly winning, Chili Bass will lose the championship by 1 point, and he's going to be losing it by more than 1 point in a minute, because Dan is looking up the inside as they go into Sheen's, but no, he can't make it stick. But the big winner in this at the moment is Stormfly. He's getting away at the front. The roadblock in this at the moment is Onford in second place. So third is Chili Bass. Dan is in fourth still, but Dan is the one, it appears, with the most speed in this group. As you can see, the rest of the field are in the back of shot there. Oh, somebody's in the pits. I'm not sure who that is. I'll have to have a quick look at that one in a minute. So here we go. To Paddock Hill, Stormfly still leads, Onford second, Chili Bass third. Chili Bass looking to the inside as they go up to Paddock Hill. Onford comes across to cover the position. It looks like there was a little bit of a nudge there from Chili Bass. Now Dan's trying to take advantage down into Graham Hill. Onford leaves him space. Now Chili Bass has caught very quickly Stormfly, and this puts Chili Bass in the championship winning position. He doesn't need to overtake Stormfly, he only needs to follow him. So, but the one that could come into play to adjust that is Dan, who is catching really quickly. Stormfly coming up to Hawthorns, and Chili Bass is right on his tail, but also looks like a bit of action further back. Oh, it's all happening everywhere. Cajun is up to fifth. He's getting racy behind Onford. And Dan is down the inside of Chili Bass into Sheen, so he's now into second place. So, oh, and Stormfly just gave a little bit of a nudge there, and it all got a bit Constantini up. I don't think anyone particularly to blame there. I just think it got awfully tight. Dan's going defensive as he go into clearways. Down the inside, Onford's going down the inside of Chili Bass. The pendulum's swinging away from Chili Bass now. The championship's back with Stormfly. Chili Bass is getting caught in the traffic. Onford looking to the inside at Paddock Hill Bend. Can he get it done? No, he can't. Cajun 100's now on the scene. He's right on the back bumper of Onford. Can he go for the inside at Druids? He's pulling out. He's gone for the inside. Cajun 100 leaning on Onford as they go round, but he's got it done. Cajun's up to fourth. Timorous is tumbled down to the back. He's down to seventh in this lead pack. So the one that's now on the move by the look is Dan, down the inside of Stormfly. Chili Bass is back up to third. This puts Chili Bass back into the championship winning position. So look how close they are. Stormfly's trying to come back in the Nissan GTR, but he's on the wrong side for Hawthorns. It's a right-hander and he's on the left-hand side. We'll be interested to find out afterwards whether Stormfly went for those medium tyres by mistake because he didn't realise that the top six could stay on whatever tyres they wanted, or whether it was a move based on what Dan had done on those medium tyres in the first race. So Chili Bass there in third, right on the back of Stormfly. So this is championship winning position for him at the moment. But look in the background, it's all getting racy again. Onford, or he might just be in defensive there from Panos. Now on the cutback, Panos has got the run out of clearways as they head down the main straight, across the start-finish line. Panos has got the inside for Paddock Hill Bend, but Onford's got the speed and he's cut in front. But we all believe that his tyres are going to wear away, and the Panos sweeps out to try and get to the inside as they go into Druids, and Onford went a little bit deep there on the entry, and that rather kicked the door open for Panos. But at the moment, Chili Bass is a little bit on his own fighting for this championship, but he only needs to stay where he is to win it. Look how tight this is. We've been racing for over 11 minutes, and it's only between let's move on to Timorous. There's 3 seconds between the top 7. You don't get this in Formula 1, do you? So here we go. Chili Bass, I think, is just sitting tight at the moment behind Stormfly. He doesn't need to overtake him, he only needs to sit behind him. So I think he's just keeping a waiting position there. Now the one that could come up and help him is Panos. Now Panos is tucked up behind Cajun 100, and Onford, who we never discount on the brakes until his tyres go, is just there behind Panos as well. So Panos going to look a little defensive there with Onford. Mind you, it looks like Onford has got a good run there coming out of clearways, but Panos has gone defensive in the Renault as they head in towards Paddock Hill. And down the dip, and yep, Panos has held on to that one. Now let's have a look. Is there something a little bit racier happening up the front? It looks like Chili Bass has, after all, gone by Stormfly. Has he got it done? No, they're still side by side. They're nudging each other, and Panos is coming through on Cajun 100 as well. And Panos has got that move done around the outside, but Chili Bass and Stormfly side by side with Panos coming as well. Cajun 100 is trying to come back at it as well. Oh, it all looked a bit touchy-feely in the background there, but everyone's still pointing the same way. Panos and Cajun 100 are still battling, and Onford's coming to the party as well. Onford's down the inside of Cajun 100 in the Westfield. So it's Chili Bass, Stormfly and Panos. And it looks like Panos is coming to try and put some space between Stormfly and Chili Bass. This is team effort at its best. In the background, Onford going down the inside of Cajun 100 into Sterling's. Got the move done. But it does mean that Timorous has crept up onto the back of Cajun 100, so he's now in that battle as well. But the one who's clearing off is Dan. He's way in the distance. He's about 4 seconds clear now, and it looks like we missed it there, so let's just go back and have a look. I think Panos got Stormfly into clearways. That looked like a team bit of a block pass going on there. I think, no, Stormfly went deep. He went deep out onto the red and white curb and left the door open there for Panos, and Panos was straight through. So there's now Panos is now the filling in the Chili Bass Stormfly sandwich. So I think Panos will now act as wingman for Chili Bass. He won't want to overtake him because he'll take points away from him. So there's no advantage for him overtaking. He's just going to work at the back there. So the next factor that's going to come into play is tyres, because Onford, we know, is someone that tends to use up tyres. So the drivers behind him, Cajun 100 and Timorous, will, I imagine, waiting for that to happen. And in the background, Yellow Sausages isn't too far back in the Ferrari either. So this isn't over quite yet for those positions from probably, I would imagine, 5th downwards. So Snod has just commented that it's hard luck if Stormfly loses out on a mistaken tyre choice. Well, was it a mistake? Was it a plan? Stormfly runs in both our championships and they have different tyre rules. So has he made a mistake? I'm sure we'll find out afterwards. But at the moment he's still hanging in there. And let's be honest, Dan is running the same tyres and he's out in the lead and he's clearing off. He's already through Paddock Hill Bend where these guys are just entering it. So yeah, I see Panos is very much sitting there as protection for Chili Bass. So very much a team effort going on there. So let's drop back to 4th. We've got Stormfly, who has got Cajun 100 coming up on him. Let's have a quick look on Cajun 100, see what tyres that he's using. He's on the super soft, and then we know Stormfly's on the medium. Oh, Stormfly doesn't seem to be working well with those tyres. He really doesn't, and it looked like Cajun was getting a good run on him there, and Onford's still coming, and we know he's got the super softs on, but they do tend to wear. Look how tight this is. Onford's going for it, but it's really difficult because of the high speed of the Hawthorn corner. It's a 3rd stroke 4th gear corner. So we've just got just under 4 minutes remaining. So through Sheen they go. Stormfly in 4th with Cajun 100 just behind him and Onford just behind. So at the moment, oh, Stormfly, those medium tyres, I don't think it's wear that he's suffering. I think it's just lack of grip, that he can't get the grip out of those tyres that he wants. But we've got, I would imagine, 3 laps to go for these drivers. Oh, Cajun 100 on those racing super softs is giving Stormfly a really hard time here. Oh, and Onford's going down the inside of Cajun 100. He's still got some life in those super soft. Oh, Stormfly's off again. He's just overdriving it. So Cajun shuffles to the back of this pack of 3. Timorous in the background. He's coming up slowly. Yeah, look, again, Stormfly. He's ripping everything he can out of those medium tyres. But he just can't find the grip. And Onford's going up the inside. I think he may have taken the door mirror off in that manoeuvre, and that's left Stormfly vulnerable to Cajun 100. The Audi TT's right under the back wing of the Nissan GTR. Is he going to go for it into Hawthorns? He had half a look, but he decided better of it. It's a very difficult corner to overtake. So having a comment there from Snod that the GTR is a heavy old beast as well, which it is. And that could be one of the reasons it's eating up its tyres. So, here we go, just 2 minutes remaining. So that's two laps from the end of this lap. And I think virtually all the drivers will go full race distance. I daren't look away from this battle because it's just so tight. So, can Cajun 100 do anything as we go down the main straight towards Paddock Hill Bend? I'm not sure that he can. No, he can't. So difficult with the way that the camber of the corner, or the elevation drops away as you turn into that corner. Can he do anything around Druids? No. He's looking all over it, but he just can't get by. Let's go on board to see what view that he's getting. But interestingly, it looks like we're catching up with Onford again. So again, this could be the tyre wear that Onford suffered in the first race. And I've just had notification from somebody in YouTube comments that Panos has actually overtaken Chili Bass, which I'm quite surprised about. However, he's probably keeping an eye on the championship positions, because as long as Chili Bass finishes in front of Stormfly, he will get the championship. But that is a very good point made there by JW on YouTube, that I did predict that Panos was just going to sit behind Chili Bass, but I don't quite know whether Chili Bass let him by because he didn't want to make any mistakes. Let's see what gap Chili Bass has got. Yeah, he's got nearly 5 seconds back to Stormfly, and he only needs to finish in front of him to secure the championship. So, oh, hello. Just spotted something there that Cajun just went by Onford, but looking at it, Onford had some kind of penalty because his car, it looked like he was winding down to, can't find the right buttons. No, Onford's down there to, he's finished. So I don't know what that was about, because Yellow Sausages has slipped by into 7th place. So I don't quite know what happened there, but we'll hop back to the battles further up. So we've got Panos still in 2nd, Chili Bass in 3rd with quite a gap. Now Stormfly is now coming, having had the attentions of Cajun 100, he's now got Timorous really close behind him. So Cajun 100 must have made some kind of mistake. So I'm sure that Stormfly, having been passed by 2 HKRT drivers, doesn't want to be passed by another, but it looks like he's going to be. Timorous goes down the inside as they go through Hawthorns, but Stormfly's having enough of it. As they go into Westfield, he cuts his nose off. So I think Stormfly, he's had 2 HKRT drivers by, he doesn't want a 3rd. So taking a great chunk of curb there. Oh no, and it's giving him a penalty. He's taken slightly too much curb there. So he's going to have to ease off, and which unfortunately is going to let Timorous by. So unfortunate there. Apologies, we missed Dan crossing the finish line. Panos coming through in 2nd. Chili Bass there in 3rd. Timorous we just saw get overtaken by Timorous in 5th, and then Cajun 100 just got past Stormfly at the line, and then Yellow Sausages come through to complete the field there. So what a race, what a race. It looked like Stormfly was in championship winning position at one point. He was leading the race. We thought his decision to go on mediums was a great one, but unfortunately it gradually fell away from him. Dan worked his way through on those mediums, and he's a Brands Hatch expert in real life, not only on GT Sport. So he managed to disappear, and then unfortunately for Stormfly, drivers behind him were gradually picking him off, and as we can see by the result, which we will just flick up to, is that Stormfly ended up down there in 60. He picked those penalties up in the last corners, and Timorous got by him, and so did Cajun 100, so that sort of slam dunked the result of the championship. So Panos nicked second position off Chili Bass, who only needed to finish in front of Stormfly to secure that. And then we had Yellow Sausages in 7th, Onford in 8th, and then Snod in 9th. And unfortunately Devlin Calypso was a retirement. So Simon Smith saying it all went wrong for Stormfly. It certainly did, and he's also congratulating Chili Bass. So yeah, unfortunately it was decided on track, and that was how we wanted it. Yellow Sausages apparently put mediums on. Yeah, Yellow Sausages, that's a Sunday night thing, not a Wednesday night thing. I nearly made the mistake, but I nearly made that mistake last week. So I'm going to say congratulations to Chili Bass on winning the championship, but also great congratulations for Stormfly. Great racing there. A great racing tonight by Dan as well on those mediums, and he got through and won that second race. So that was absolutely brilliant to see there. So showing his expertise around this track. When he had last week when we were racing at Bathurst, he had a bit of a mare, to say the least. So I think that will put confidence back with Dan. I can see a few of the drivers typing messages, so I'll just hang on for those. Timorous is offering congratulations to Stormfly, so that's very nice of him. And Stormfly is still typing away, Cajun 100's typing away, so Panos is congratulating Cajun 100. Stormfly is congratulating Dan and all the HKRT drivers and saying it was a great race, and congratulations to them. So great sportsmanship there by Stormfly. That's really great to see. So that's brilliant. So thank you very much for watching this season. Thank you very much to CMB Artwork, our sponsor for this championship. He was great guy there, does his own artwork, proper old school stuff. So go on to Facebook and look him up. If you want to get involved with this, we're starting up our new championships in 2 weeks. We'll have the Sunday night DTM championship, and then on a Wednesday night we have the Group 4 championship. And so we're repeating those. We've got a nice series of tracks. You can do one, you can do both, but just go onto Facebook, look for Flat Out E-Racing, jump in and get involved. Jump onto the Facebook page, say hello to the guys, say you want to get involved, and you'll get on track. And even better than that, you'll get me commentating about you. And on a Sunday night with the DTMs, I've got my great friend Spencer, an American commentator, and that really puts on a great show for everyone. So great to have everybody on board with us tonight. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we will see you again soon. And of course, remember to like and subscribe.